Hi everyone, I'm California Assemblymember Evan Lowe, also chairing the California LGBTQ Legislative Caucus. And welcome to our very first episode of The Lowdown with Evan Lowe. Today, I'm joined by Delaware State Senator Sarah McBride, who last year became the first transgender state senator in U.S. history. Senator McBride, I love that sound, has worked on a number of progressive causes. And in 2016, she also became the first transgender person to speak at a Democratic National Convention.
My name is Sarah McBride, and I am a proud transgender American.
Senator McBride, welcome. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Assemblymember, it's so good to see you, and it's so good to be on this first episode. I love the name of the program.
Well, I couldn't think of a better person to have join us. And normally I would just call you Sarah, but you have earned that sound and that title, Senator. I just love it. How are you making sense of all of this too? Because, you and I talked earlier before just about being an activist, a community organizer, and just trying to do the good work. But now we realize, yeah, you are the senator. You're not turning behind you like, oh, are you talking to someone else? But that's you.
It's been certainly a whirlwind, and it's taken some time getting used to. I've said this before to people, but when folks started calling me senator after I won, I thought they were saying it ironically, and I would always laugh when they call me senator. But it's one more than anything else, just an unbelievable privilege. I grew up in the district that I represent, and sometimes I just walk around and I'm overcome with emotion at the incredible privilege and responsibility that voters in this community have entrusted in me, and that privilege to serve a community that I love, that raised me, that supported me, is the greatest privilege, professional privilege of my life. And so it's been like drinking from a fire hose, that's for sure. But I am loving the job already. I am enjoying working with my colleagues. I am in communication and in meetings with constituents and advocates and organizations and fellow government officials all throughout the day. And I'm just not just learning, but I am excited about the opportunity for progress that's before us. And that's what motivated me to run. It was the knowledge that change is possible, that I gained during my time as an advocate. That knowledge and the hope that comes from that knowledge is what motivated me and inspired me to run for office.
Here in California, there are many times to which those in our community, our LGBTQ plus community, may feel a sense of complacency in California. And of course, we see such history makers in other states. And I would try to follow about the work that you're doing and replicating some of these other LGBTQ plus caucuses. I understand that that's also on your plate as well, too. How's that coming along?
It's coming along really well. Delaware went from having no out LGBTQ members just a couple months ago in our General Assembly to now having 3 out members. In our Senate, we have 2. We have 2, myself and Marie Pinkney, who's a Black queer woman. And in the House, we have Representative Eric Morrison, who's an openly gay man and a professional drag queen. And so we've got such an incredible representation of the community in our General Assembly, really that full diversity of our community. I think we actually have every letter represented from the community. Some of us representing more than one letter, but we've got every letter. And so, we decided before we got elected that we wanted to create an LGBTQ equality caucus in our General Assembly. There had only ever been one previous out member. She came out publicly in the final 2 years of her final term, Senator Karen Peterson. She actually came out on the floor of the Senate during the debate for marriage equality in our state. And I now have the privilege of occupying her desk in the Delaware State Senate, on the floor of the state Senate. But we decided early on we wanted to start a caucus, and we are starting it. It's going to be co-chaired by the out members, but we're going to open it up to allied members of the General Assembly so that we can help to continue to educate them on the ongoing fight for LGBTQ equality in our state, despite our progress here in Delaware, There's still more we can do. There's a lot of steps that California's taken that we can take. And there's more that both of our states can do to achieve full equality for the LGBTQ community. And one of the really, I think, important parts of our mission is not just to educate our colleagues and to push forward those LGBTQ specific policies like student non-discrimination protections, like a ban on the LGBTQ panic defense. We're going to push that forward, but we're also going to focus on making sure that every piece of legislation, from housing to healthcare to education to transportation, that as it's being drafted and worked through the process, that the LGBTQ community is incorporated and on the minds of the sponsors.
In light of trying to demystify and humanize us as elected politicians and representatives, how about a conversation on more of the interesting things like, can you think about an interesting call or text message that you received post-election? Can you share some insights on something like that?
I think my favorite text post-election was actually from my mom, who is Sally, and folks call her Sal. And she said, "Can you call me the first Sal of the first district?" And I was like, okay, that's your new title, the first Sal of the first district. But it's, as I'm sure you know, after an election, your phone just gets bombarded with calls and texts. I'm still digging my way out of the pile of texts that I got after the election. And I get called, every single day from constituents. I say, whether it's public policy or potholes, I am here to serve and I am here to answer your questions.
Completely, and it's a challenge, and it's balancing act, because this is the reality. You are the senator from Delaware, and yet you're having a conversation with someone from California. Arguably, you could easily say, "No, I'm going to dismiss that." But we are so lucky that you've taken this opportunity, because we know you on the national stage, on the national platform. And again, I'm hopeful that individuals like yourselves can continue to pave the way for others. And we're just like everyone else. We're just normal people, and we all just want to do our part.
That is so true. One of the things I always try to say when I'm talking to folks about running for office is, sometimes we can think that when we have anxiety and fear and stress around doing something new, and for anyone who's even remotely considered running for office, sometimes they go, "I don't think I can handle it. I'm too anxious of a person. I'm too fearful. I can't, I don't have thick enough skin." And I think one of the things that is so important, to your point, is to demystify who elected officials are, who candidates are, and really to recognize that we all struggle with the same insecurities, the same anxieties, the same stresses that anyone who runs for office would. And we aren't doing that. We aren't running for office because we don't have those stresses or anxieties or insecurities. We're doing it in spite of those. And the fact that you have those anxieties or insecurities, that little voice in the back of your head, that's not a reason not to run. And I think sometimes we take it as such. And so, your point, demystifying and really recognizing that, we are all just people doing our best, trying to do our best, and certainly sometimes embarrassing ourselves along the way. I've probably done that one or two times already, but it's so important to recognize, the humanity, and that people who are doing this are everyday people who are coming from, being educators, being, frontline workers, being advocates, being civic association leaders. It really, people come from all different backgrounds. There's no one path and there's no one way.
I'm going to say a few words, and don't think about it too much, but what immediately comes to mind? Are you ready?
Maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll just go
along. Right, we'll start easy. All right. Favorite song?
Okay, I'm listening to a lot of Taylor Swift right now, and Folklore is my favorite album, and I have been listening to Last American Dynasty on repeat over and over again.
Okay, I'm going to let you keep your LGBTQ plus card then. You very much fit that well. Zodiac sign?
I'm a Leo, which is so not surprising. What are you?
I'm a Gemini, We have multiple personalities. It's not two-faced, it's multiple personalities.
I feel like it's no surprise that a Leo runs for office. I'm like kind of embarrassed how on point I am for Leos.
Favorite meal?
Fried chicken.
It's lunchtime, I'm hungry. Celebrity crush?
God. Okay, I don't randomly Carey Mulligan. I watched The Dig on Netflix. And prior to that, literally the day before, I watched Collateral on Netflix, and she's in both. And I just like randomly have this crush on Carey Mulligan now. Carey Mulligan, call me.
Pet peeve?
Oh, okay. So I cannot stand any kind of repetitive noise. So whether that's loud chewing, tapping, like it is, and my dad is a tapper. Like every time we're together, he's always tapping on something. And I'm like, can you please stop that? Because it just makes me viscerally angry.
Note to self, committee members on Senate Health Committee, do not tap while in committee on the dais. Do not do it. The chair will be upset.
I can't help it. It just makes me angry. I like want to squeeze something. I need like a stress ball if I have someone tapping.
We all have our things.
That's right.
Just note, I know that you'll see people tapping their feet while waiting to present in committee. Just so I know that's going to happen.
As long as it's silent, I can deal.
All right.
Favorite animal?
So in college, when I was student body president, everyone said that I looked like oh shoot, what's it called? Oh my God. What's this?
Oh, sloth?
Sloth, yes, okay.
Okay.
In college, everyone said that I looked like the sloth from Ice Age when I was student president, and they put my hair was much shorter then, and I think that was okay. The longer hair helps to shield me from this comparison. But they took my picture and they put it next to a sloth, and so now on, honestly though, it's kind of accurate, both in look, but also I think like I'm very dedicated and hardworking and determined, but I'm kind of sloth-like.
Self-deprecation. You have humility and good humor. I love it. Well, we have just a few more of these. Again, what comes to mind when I say the word Twitter?
Ooh. Trump, but no longer.
Lady Gaga.
Fabulous.
Favorite foreign language?
French.
And as we close this conversation, just a few more questions, but when you think about yourself when you're younger, or if you could go back and talk to your 16-year-old self, what would you say?
I'd tell myself that it's going to be okay, that you can live your truth and dream big dreams all at the same time, that your family will still love you, that your friends will still be your friends, and that the community you love will not only be welcoming and accepting, but will someday give you the opportunity to represent them. It's going to be okay.
That's absolutely right. So if you have any good policy positions or saying, hey, California, you should do that, and vice versa, let's make sure that we stay involved and in touch on the different things that we're working on. Finally, how can people stay in touch with you on social media?
Absolutely. So people can follow me on Twitter at Sarah E. McBride. They can follow me on Instagram at Sarah E. McBride. And they can find me at Sarah McBride on Facebook. I don't yet have a TikTok. I need to do that. But Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
I mean, let me just say, when you get TikTok, your TikTok game is going to be on. It's going to be the most amazing. You're fun. And again, it's like, how do we just mystify and make it cool? So I'll look forward to following you on TikTok soon.
You have to hold me to that. Are you on TikTok?
No, not quite yet. Not quite yet. But I'm not as cool as you are. I'm not as cool as you are. Come on, let's be real.
Please. I think after seeing this, it's clear I am the least cool person in the history of the Delaware legislature.
You heard it. Please follow our State Senator Sarah McBride on social media. You can find her on Twitter, on Instagram, and everywhere in between. And you're going to look forward to seeing her feature account on TikTok. Thanks so very much for joining us on The Lowdown with Evan Lowe. Stay safe. And please stay tuned for updates from myself on Twitter at Evan_Lowe or on Facebook at Assemblymember Lowe. Stay safe and see you next month.